What particular food wouldn't you eat growing up but you tried later as an adult that you now enjoy eating? Raw tomatoes. I hated them so much in sandwiches, now I put them in all my sandwiches. Funny thing is, my fam still thinks I hate them, so whenever we have a cookout or something, they always give me burgers without tomatoes. I'm kinda shy to admit to them my newfound love. Cruciferous vegetables. Broccoli. Brussels sprouts. I wouldn't touch it if it was green. Now they're my favorite. I air fry Brussels sprouts for snacks. Yum! Eggs. I was disgusted by them as a kid, then I found the way I like them prepared, which is any style really, but well made. I've eaten more onions willingly in the last year than in the previous 47 years of my life combined. Lasagna. My mom made it with cottage cheese and raw mushroom slices that came out like styrofoam. It was nasty. I didn't have it done right until I was an adult. Beef stew. Hated it as a kid because my mom would put water chestnuts in it. Now I love the stuff. Ham. As a kid I thought it was squishy and turned me off of it pretty bad. Now I hammer it down every Thanksgiving and Christmas. Brussels sprouts. When I was growing up, most vegetables were boiled within an inch of their lives. Plus, new varieties that are less bitter have been introduced. Now, a roasted or grilled Brussels sprout with olive oil and balsamic or garlic is one of my favorites. If you had told me that when I was 20, I would have called you crazy. Beets. Mom always heated up store-bought canned beets. Nasty as hell. Tried some boiled straight from my grandpa's garden and holy hell! So good. Grits. Nasty shit. Still don't like it plain, but interestingly I'm addicted to shrimp and grits like it's crack. Various filet fish steaks, as long as they don't smell fishy. Such as, teriyaki salmon steak, or swordfish fried in something with garlic. Lobster tail. Shrimp. When I was 8, my dad took us to a restaurant, and he got a fish meal. Picked it up, and sucked the eyes out of it. I almost puked, and wouldn't touch seafood for almost 20 years. What? Steamed spinach. Any spinach. While it can reach some low lows, it can reach some of the highest highs in vegetabledom. Corn. My mom always made cream corn and I hated it. I was about 17 before I had really good corn on the cob and it was like heaven. Onions, but only purple ones. I used to leave the dinner table with a mound of onions next to my plate. I still loathe any other than the purple ones, though. Fish of any kind at all tasted like how trash smells. Until I lived in Japan, had sushi of all kinds. Now I enjoy eating fish in any place low only as long as it is raw. 2 things: peanut butter and mayo. I used to eat jelly sandwiches, specifically grape jelly. Hated the texture of peanut butter. Now, when I need a quick snack, peanut butter is usually part of it. And mayo. I can do mayo in something, but in sandwiches? Oh heck no! Now? Mayo, preferably Duke's or homemade, on all the sandwiches. Gonna think I'm crazy but... Pizza. I never wanted to touch it but I was almost 13 before I finally had some. Olives, pickles, onions, mushrooms, stinky cheese, hot and spicy things. I still won't eat Brussels sprouts, yuck! On the reverse, I used to love bananas but now they upset my stomach. Pineapple. I had only ever had the tiny sour ones in the dull fruit cups. My first time trying fresh pineapple a few years ago was life-changing. Lol. Onions. I hated them when I was a kid, teen, and in my 20s, now at the wiser age of 48, I love the way caramelized onions add flavor and depth to so many dishes. Eggplant. Not sure how my grandma cooked it back in the day, but it was nasty. It smelled bad more than anything. As long as it's cooked like that, then I'll eat it. My father worked with an Irish guy who had a Cuban wife. Uncle Joe and Aunt Ruth, not related, just called them that. She would make this chicken and rice dish and fried plantains. I thought it was nasty at the time. Would I like to have some of that right now? Mushrooms. Guy hated mushrooms. But now I eat them like candy. I always hated cooked spinach. I still hate it. Pastrami. Always hated the smell of it. But one day somebody talked me into having a pastrami sandwich, and I fell in love. Strawberries, mac cheese, vegetables, salads. I still won't eat green beans alone but if it happens to be in fried rice then that's okay. I also used to bash people for eating cookie dough ice cream because of the name, but now it's my favorite. I especially like it whether it is mixed with Oreos. Mushrooms, snails, peas, fish with bones in it, red wine, red meat, dark bread, goat cheese, egg yolks, organ meats, spicy food, you know, all the good stuff. Probably a lot more. I was a picky kid, and am very much not a picky adult. Blue cheese and gorgonzola. Hated him as a kid. 21 years old and in summer ROTC training, for some reason I thought, blue cheese dressing sounds good today, and so it was, smiley face. Guacamole and salsa. I had a bad experience with pico de gallo from Baja Fresh when I was a child and it made me adverse to anything slightly close to it. I no love guacamole, salsa, and most other sauces. Out of fear and principle, I will never order something with pico de gallo. Pork chops. It was so disappointing as a kid that you were having pork chops for dinner. My BF and I recently randomly decided to buy them and see if we like them now, and unsurprisingly it turns out our parents just didn't know how to season or cook them right. Scrambled eggs. I didn't like the texture as a kid, too chewy. Now, I'm all about that scrambled egg life.